What up, what up, what up? We are going to be talking about my January. That's a lie. We are going to be talking about my 2024 top 10. Yeah, I know. It's the end of January, but I don't care. Here we are. Number 10 is going to be My Leather and Lark by Brian Weaver. This is like a dark romance. Add a little bit of comedy in there. Is just so great. It's about a young girl who appears to be nice and sweet, but plot twist, she's not. And then, of course, we have the main male character who is grumpy and just hates life and just falls hard for this multiple deleter. And if you know, you know. Number two, not number two, number nine. Top nine right here for me is First Sly Wins. I believe it's by, I have notes. It is by Ashley Elston. So this is like a mystery thriller book. The main female character has a new identity, but still trying to protect her old identity and her past, but it's slowly unraveling. So she's trying to figure out how to protect it, but also trying to understand who is the person that gave her her new identity and what she's actually doing. There's plot twists, there's mystery in it, there's gas, there's death. It's fun. It's exciting. It's a mystery thriller. Then it is number 8, Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood is my top 8. Again, Ali Hazelwood, to me, there's only one book I'm just like not a fan of, and that was Bride. And she's one of those like auto buy authors for myself. Like, so when I see her, I'm just like, absolutely. Bride was one of those I was just like, ugh. Would have been okay not reading Bride. Anyways, Not in Love, of course, is based in STEM, which is like Ali Hazelwood's like cup of tea is that. And the main female character works for a company. The main male character is trying to acquire that company. They see each other. They have some type of past, and they're like reconnecting in this place again. And they kind of have like a secret affair. So there's secret affair. There's boardrooms. There's like trying to save their company, trying to save their patent. And it's all of this mixed together, and it creates some like just a lot of distrust, a lot of anxiety, struggles. The main female character is one of those like, I don't need anyone. I don't want to get romantically involved. I don't want any emotions. And it's just great. It is a little bit steamier than her other books. I would just have to warn you about that. That was something like I wasn't expecting because the other ones were more tamed. Just forewarning if you're someone who like is not a fan of that. But Not in Love, Ali Hazelwood, great romance. Number 7 is Kill for Me, Kill for You. I just feel like my top 10 is like a great mix of like romance, mystery. So Kill for Me, Kill for You is a whodunit mystery thriller book. So great. Two women who are introduced to you early on in the book, and they meet each other at a grieving like circle, kind of like an AA. They are both upset about their just like current life. Like they both had major loss, and they're upset the fact that the person who caused them pain is still out there living. So they come up with a whole plan like, if I kill for you, kill for me, but it doesn't go as planned. Shocker, right? And it turns into, who are you really? What is actually happening? Who's actually the killer? It's just a great, even towards the end, I had no idea what to expect, and I was completely surprised. This was one of the first books where I kind of took my annotating seriously, and because of that, I was paying attention to a lot of let's say a lot of like facial cues or body languages or certain words that were utilized, and that kind of helped me figure out like one part of like, something's not right here with you. I'm seeing something here. So I really valued like my time and taking notes in the book. But Kill for Me, Kill for You was one of my favorites when it came to like mystery and thriller for 2024. Heartless Hunter is a fantasy YA. We have witches. It's romantasy. Essentially, there is a community where witches are no longer allowed. They were allowed at times, but then they are no longer allowed, and they're trying to kill them all off. And so the main female character is kind of like in hiding, and no one knows she's a witch. And she does a great job of hiding all of her just like all of her magic and everything that she does. But she is now caught in like kind of like a romance with someone who actually wants to kill her. Okay. So this book does a really great job of creating like great tension between her and the main male character. Definitely a YA book. Kind of slow pace in the beginning. It builds up in the middle, fast pace at the end. And not that like you kind of see where the plot was going and you kind of see what the plot twist is happening. I enjoyed just the concept of the story and love the fact that like there's going to be a second book coming out this year. So definitely I would highly suggest Heartless Hunter. I read it the first time and then I listened to audio on the second time. Before the book comes out, I might try to listen to the audiobook again. It was just such a great read, such a great listen to hear the main characters again, so like go back and just like see where the hints were when you were trying to figure out like, oh, I guess the villain of the story and where did we miss something in the beginning. But definitely Heartless Hunters, a YA fantasy I would definitely recommend. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. So Just for the Summer, I would say, is my second book I read by Abby Jimenez. I was recommended Abby Jimenez, Yours Truly, by a friend, and it was honestly, it just opened the door for me to the world of Abby Jimenez. She's such a great writer, and I appreciate books that are written with characters that are like 30 and up. They establish themselves. There's a little sense of maturity, things like that. Just for the Summer is about two main characters who, I think there's like a movie about this too, like Good Luck Chuck, where they're like, everyone after me gets married and have kids and whatever. Like, I am that person for them. They then post about it on like, what is it, Reddit or something like that. It goes viral. They meet each other and they're like, hey, let's just like date each other. Maybe we can like figure out this curse, and like after we're broken up, we'll find our people. But of course, it's a romance novel, so like things happen. But what I love about Abby Jimenez in her books is that she just doesn't do the fluffy kick your feet in the air type of romance. There are moments like that for sure, but in this book, so much more like deeper meaning, deeper understanding about family, friends, and love. Like the main female character and male female character alone separately, their trials and tribulations are out of this world, and it's ridiculous and crazy and dramatic, and it's heartbreaking too to just watch them go through it. I loved everything about it, and I love their journey to healing, and I love their journey to like, hey, we're in this issue right now, we're in this problem, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm gonna do what I need to do. They work well together. The main male character is just a sweetheart. I think in the book too, I forget exactly what he was asking, but they were going on a date and he sends her like a survey. And I don't know why, I was just like swooning. I was like, this is great. Just for the Summer, Abby Jimenez. So my top four is actually two books in one. I don't know. I don't care about the rules. It is what it is. But the first one of the four is Legendborn, then Bloodmark. Legendborn, Bloodmark are dark academia, secret society. She's trying to step into her new power that she's unaware of, just tripping through magic left and right. The main female character is sassy, she's blunt, she is sometimes careless, but she's so young. I would say, I know this is a YA fantasy, just be mindful of that too. When it comes to like the characters and the behaviors, it's just like, what are you thinking? Oh yeah. But definitely recommend Bloodmark, Legendborn, and third book is coming out this year. So let's get into it. Let's do this together. Okay, number 3. Oh, this is my first Kristen Hanna book, and she is automatically, without a doubt, auto-buy. The Woman was such a great read. Everything about it. And then when you read the author's note, you realize like, oh my goodness, you did such a great job with the research that you made me fully understand in some capacity. Like, I will never probably fully understand, but in some capacity I fully understood what was going on during the time of Vietnam War. What were our troops feeling when they returned home? Woman is about a main female character who wants to do her part in the war and goes overseas and is a nurse there. And there are just things that she experiences when she finally does come home. All the loss, the pain, the heartbreaks, all of that kind of like comes to a point where she just is lost. We see the first half of her life at war, the second half of her life at home, and trying to navigate the minefield of what it is to be back from the Vietnam War and all the things she had to go through. And it is just beautifully written. I cried. I absolutely loved it. And then just like how it comes full circle at the end, chef's kiss. The Woman by Kristen Hanna, auto-buy author. I can't wait to continue like all the books. Okay, my top two. These are just so great. I wish these are the books where I'm like, I wish I could go back and read them again for the first time. That's the feeling I have. So the top two are both fan fictions. So Secret and Mask is my top two. And both of the two and one are fan fictions books, and they are both based in Harry Potter world. Secret and Mask, after the war is over, Voldemort wins, and people are dead, and Hermione is one of the few that remains, and she is captured, and she is essentially used by Voldemort and Draco. And when I tell you that Draco, you think like he can be dark, he is darker in this one. And it is truly, in my opinion, like an enemies to lovers. They work so well together, but also are the worst for each other in the best way possible. And it goes through kind of like the chaos of what is after the war and trying to find all the Horcruxes that are still remaining to end Voldemort's life. So that's Secret and Mask. And then the number one book of my 2024, Manacled. Guys, so this was going around, and I feel like someone was like, am I really reading this 800 plus book? And I was like, ooh, that's daunting. So I was thinking about it. And then at the same time, one of my friends was like, hey, you like dark things. I think you'll enjoy it. Could you read it and let me know what it's about? She eventually read it later, but I loved everything about it. Ate it up. I love the darkness of this book. And a part of me was like, can this be a movie? I wish it was. I hope it is. But anyways, Manacled takes place after the war, and Hermione is the one that, like, she's not the only one that remains, but she's one of the few that remains. And she goes through kind of like a Handmaid's Tale process. While she's going through this Handmaid's Tale process, she loses her memory. She has no idea what's going on. While she's like in memory loss, Draco is in charge of keeping her, essentially chained up and everything, very much like you're a prisoner. This book is so well written. It is written both in the present and the past, so you get some flashbacks, and the flashbacks are just magical. You get to see Hermione go from like the Hermione that we see in the movie, the Hermione that we read about in the books, to someone who's like, we need to change our tactics. We need to like look at this a little bit differently. She was used, she was abused, she was ignored, and she was so brave at the same time. She was willing to do everything and anything possible to save everyone, and yet no one paid attention to her. She was broken by the end. Around that point in time where like her character and Draco's character kind of find each other. But yeah, the back and forth is just beautifully done. You get to see kind of like where the friendship romance kind of goes and how it was created and how it was made. And it was made in the most loving way possible. They were at their lowest. They were lonely and depressed and just surrounded just by pain and sorrow. Just fabulous. And Draco was literally the epitome of touch her and you die. Enough said. Enough said. It was just like, I just can't get enough of it. And I'm so excited that the author is publishing the book. So it's not going to be Manacled, of course. It's going to be revised into Alchemized. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And it's going to release in September. So you know your girl is going to be there and ready to go. I'm just excited for that story. But Manacled, man, I know I haven't checked at all, but I do know that like it's no longer available on the fan fiction site that it was on. So if you do have it on your Kindle, save it, cherish it, because it's there. But that was my number one book of 2024. I just can't get enough of it. For so long, even to this day, I think about that book. I think about how well it was written. I think about all the flashbacks. I think about Hermione and Draco together and how that came to be. And I think about like what she was willing to sacrifice in order to win. And I say this to myself all the time. Every book that I read, I try to find like a lesson from it. Even if it's like a fiction, fantasy, doesn't matter, witches, warlocks, all that stuff, don't care. Give me a book where I can learn something from it. And what Hermione's character taught me is like, what's going to get it done? And what are we willing to do? And sometimes we have to be in a position to do something that may seem like taboo or wrong or this is not it, actually get to where we need to be. And that's the whole time she was just fighting for it. She was fighting for a different perspective in order for people to see like, hey, in order for us to get to where we need to be, we need this. You know, like every movie we watch, like every Disney movie is like hope and magic and love. And she's like, that's BS. Get out of there with that. Okay? Nah, we're not doing that. We need to do something different. Hermione's just great. She's smart. She's creative. She's quick on her feet. You know, and I think that's something that we all need to like possess in some shape or form. And it's just fabulous. Just fabulous. Yeah, she's a great character and so well written in this book. And Malfoy too. You have someone who is dark and broody and going through so much pain, knowing that he served a master that is strong, powerful, almost immortal, and could do so much harm, yet he knows deep down he needs to do something. And there's all these selfish reasons why. When he goes about doing it all and how he goes about it, you see a little bit of his heart. Just breaks me, like remembering all the present scenes where he kind of cannot be the love for her that he was in the flashbacks. It's just great. It's just absolutely well-written book with so much magic, so much pain, so much sorrow. There's no joy. Just get that out of your mind right now. Get it out, because it is dark and it is heavy and it's fabulous. It's such a great job where you have these two characters fighting to live and they just essentially have only each other. Fabulous. Those are my top 10s. They're great. Look them up. See if you like them. And then let me know what's up. So I've got a mini miniature book haul, right? Let's talk about, we're not talking about, I'm just going to tell you about it. I'm just going to show you. Babylonia. It is a mythical fantasy book. And this is, of course, book of the month, as you can see. So I don't know when I'm going to read this in 2025. I did pause my book of the month because I actually have a lot of them that I need to get into. My TBR list is through the roof, aka like my bookshelf in general. So I'm just trying to be mindful of my book of the month because one, they are beautiful, they're hardback, but I just also want to, take care of my wallet. So Babylonia is one of them. We have a contemporary fiction Queenie, so a 25-year-old Jamaican English woman. And she's just navigating love and life, and things are not going her way. Queenie. We have An Ember in the Ashes. This is like a dystopian fantasy YA book. So got this. This is thrift books, and so is Queenie. So the next one is Wings of Ebony. This is a YA fantasy mythology book. She's like a semi-demigod. Let's learn more about her. And then the last one is Six of Crows. This is in the same world as Shadow and Bone, the book that is now a Netflix series, Shadow and Bones. So this is book 1, and then the second book is Crooked Kingdom. I want to read more about this. I enjoyed Shadow and Bone, the TV show. I have the book, and I plan on reading the book 2025. But I did enjoy the whole world building and Shadow and Bones and everything that is of that world, the characters. Six of Crows is supposed to be some characters that are in that world, I believe, and just more about their life and just their profession of being these. So here we go. That's the mini haul. That's all I got for you guys. It's been great. It's been real. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have fun reading.